So Cassidy and Hitman Holler supposed to be doing this, rap battle. I think it's like, if I'm not mistaken, April the 3rd, right? And they had a face-off, right? Where, they would, talk back and forth to one another, whatever, and this is like my first time seeing it, you know what I'm saying? I was unaware of this, right? Because I don't really keep up with rap battle like that, right? So, I'm making a point here. So, I'm listening to Cassidy, and Cassidy's talking a whole lot of smack and whatever have you, and, Hitman Holla's responding to him, right? So, the minute that Cassidy said, in the face-off, that Hitman Holla's not tougher than him, he doesn't have street credibility like, Cassidy, etc., etc., etc. That's when Hitman Holla, I forgot his name, flipped, right? And then he was like, yo, I punch people, I knock people out, this and that, so forth. You can Google me, da-da-da-da-da, right? So, I'm older, so I knew what Cassidy was doing. A lot of times when dealing with the youth, people that are younger with you, younger than you, the old heads are the dudes that's, that have the wisdom, they're able to, mentally control the youth. Like we can manipulate the youth. And just when you think that you have control over the conversation, the reality of it is that you don't. And Hitman Holla, he lost it. You see what I'm saying? And mentally, Cassidy got the best of him. I'm making a point here. So when I saw that, I went back and I started looking at, rap battles that Cassidy has done in the past, right? And one of them I stumbled on was Arsenal. And I looked at that rap battle, and Arsenal was clearly the winner. And I realized one thing, that true indeed, Cassidy used to be the shit in rap battles, you know what I'm saying, in the 90s, early, late 90s, early 2000s. And now that rap battle has changed, and Cassidy, he don't sound like these guys. These guys are, the only thing that I can say far as dealing with hip-hop, rap battle has evolved, and it's gotten better. You see what I'm saying? But dealing with hip-hop as a whole, far as dealing with the music, has gotten worse. And this, I'm saying that to say this, that old heads, such as myself and others, have to make way for the youth. That the reality of it is that this rap game is a young competition. Period. Now, I'm not knocking you if you're older and you got, hits and you're touring and all the rest of that stuff and you making money. Hey, do your thing. But at the end of the day, I'm just being real with you. Nobody wants to see an old grayed up hair dude that can barely move on the stage rap. We just don't want to see that. We want to see some young, fresh dude. You understand? Like, yo, let me tell you something, man. The last time I see Wu-Tang Clan, right, perform, their movements was slow. It wasn't like, Method Man wasn't jumping in the crowd and going crazy how he used to, do. Same thing with Busta. Busta could put on a performance, but not like how he could put on a performance when he was in his early 20s. It's just not the same. But the thing of it is that what we need to do is as a community, as a culture, the hip hop culture, is just hand it over and hope for the best. Hope that the next generation carries the torch, right? Like I recall hearing Roddy Ricch, I think that's his name. If I mess up on names, you have to. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? You got to accept my apology, because I don't mean to butcher names. A lot of rappers come out and I forget their names, and they all sound the same. And this is the reason why I forget their names, because no one kind of stands out to me. You know what I'm saying? Except for like your Little Baby and the Baby and Lil Durk. Those type of dudes stand out to me. Drake, Future. But the rest of them are just like, you come and go. Anyway, I heard him, speak about when he was at the Grammys and how it was some old heads that he looked up to that dissed him. And that's crazy to me. Like, why are you trying to hate on the youth? You understand? Like, I'll tell you this. I used to be an MC. And I'm still pretty decent at it. I could put words together and I could flow on a beat. But I know where I stand at. I know I'm not trying to be a rapper. That's not what I want to be as far as my career. The only thing that I want to do with music is I'm coming out with this 3-part series book, right? It's gonna be 3 different books, but it's all in one big story, right? And each book, I'm gonna put out like probably 6 or 7 tracks. That's kind of gonna be like the soundtrack to the book. That's it. I'm not performing. I'm not doing no concerts. I'm not doing any of that. It's gonna be part of a merch package. You're gonna get the sticker, the music, the t-shirt, the this, the that, etc. Other than that, I know my lane. I know that right now I'm not young. I'm just not. And this is a young man's game. And some people may say, you might argue and say, well, people that's like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 can rap. And you have to excuse me, man. I got allergies from this pollen, man. In the South, the pollen is just murder. You understand? But if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, you could rap until you 80, 90 years old. But at the end of the day, I just don't want to see it. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cool to see an older guy, grayed up, wrinkles everywhere, rapping on stage. I'm not paying to see that. I'm not going to your concert to see that. That's not happening. Yo, let me tell you something. Just like how I don't like older people bagging my groceries at the grocery store, or how I don't like seeing older people getting carts when it's hot as shit outside, I don't want to see my rappers, I don't want to see Method Man at 80 years old performing. I just don't. Now, don't get it twisted. There's some exceptions to the rules. Like, Styles P is still putting out some good work. And he fairly looks kind of young. Or Buster, he's putting out great work. But my thing is this, like, it gets to the point where it's time to stop. I'm not going to say now. I'm just saying it gets to the point where you got to say to yourself, yo, I've made enough hits. I've achieved all of my goals. I've done all that I needed to do. It's time to hand that shit over to somebody else. Plain and simple. And if you want to call me a hater, you want to say, well, you know what, Langston, just a couple years ago, you said anybody that has the talent to rap should rap, no matter what age you are. Yes, I did say that, but guess what? I do believe in growing. I do believe in understanding. And right now, at the age that I am, it's like, come on, man, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, come on, man. I mean, let's just be real. For someone that's in their late 30s on up, please, man, if you haven't gotten yourself established and you're still touring and still chasing at that money for as touring and everything, everything that you did was in vain. In other words, what I'm saying, it shouldn't have led up to this point. You should be at a point in your life where you're managing someone, you're the CEO of a record label or something, somewhere in a higher position in the music industry, other than just being a regular ass damn artist. And I don't care what y'all say, man. It pains me to see Rakim still touring. And the likes, yeah, true indeed, they getting money, but yo, shouldn't it be where we have this hip hop council and we're able to, like, shouldn't we have infrastructure where these guys, these pioneers, your Cool Hercs and your Big Daddy Kanes and your Brand Nubians and the likes, you know what I'm saying? That the trendsetters, the people that change the game up, shouldn't they have like a pension or something after they get a certain age? Seriously, like, to be real with you, we're the only culture that doesn't like really take care of our, well, America doesn't take care of their elders either. They're quick to throw them in their old folks' home, and veterans, oh shit, they quick to just leave them out in the streets. So we're not the only culture or community that does that. But it seems as though that is more prevalent in the hip hop community, where when you get old, you're just thrown to the side. It shouldn't be like that. There should be some type of pension, some type of monies that should be given to these elders, where they can be able to not, they won't have to work anymore. They don't have to tour, any of that. I can't see myself, like if I was a rapper, I couldn't see myself being in my late 30s, early 40s, still chasing after the dream. I just can't see myself doing it. That's just crazy to me. And I know some of you all are not going to agree. Some of you all are going to sit back and say, man, I disagree with this, and da-da-da-da, and you should be able to, no matter how old you are, you should be able to live out your life dreams and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I get that. But at the end of the day, let's just be real. I'm going to be real with you, man. I don't want to see Cassie. Cassie is going to get murdered. Hitman Holla is going to destroy him. That plain and simple. Arsenal busted his ass. That's facts, big facts, that is. And it's true with Hitman Holla said. He was like, yo, man, most of the battles he's lost. And it's true, because the thing of it is that people don't want to admit it. Lord Jamar did an interview with Hitman Holla, and Lord Jamar was on that old shit. Like, come on, man. You saying that Cassidy has, bars. He does, but it's like a 1998 to 2006 type of flow. Like, it's 2021. It's 2021. Like, I'll give you an example. When I come out with the music that I'm gonna come out with, it's dated. I'm rhyming like how we would rhyme in the 90s. I'm not on no auto-tune talking about some ooh, pow. I'm not doing that, because that's not the generation that I come from. So I'm not going to pretend to be something that I'm not. And that's another thing too, for us dealing with the old heads that try to do that. Like, yo, just leave that flow up to these guys that's doing it in this generation, because you sound stupid. You just do when you try it. When you try it, you just do. And I just think that sometimes we as older people, we try to forget when we were young how we kind of shunned the older people off too. Like, when I was listening to Busta Rhymes, Method Man, Mary J. Blige, and all of that stuff, my moms couldn't tell me anything, because she couldn't relate. She couldn't relate to the music. So it would appear to her that it was nothing but noise. But hearing Busta Rhymes and Wu-Tang Clan and all of these different people, Old Dirty Bastard, it was like music to my ears. Same thing with this generation. I'm not going to say that I'll say, for the sake of the conversation, there are a lot of whack rappers out. There was a lot of whack rappers back in the days, but there's just a shitload of them now. But there are some other good ones. And in this day and time, the music that's coming out now sounds like a bunch of gibberish to us, just like how it sounded like a bunch of gibberish to our parents when we were young. So this is something that we have to think about, straight up. And then also, on the other hand too, to give some responsibility to the young cats, you got to realize this, that one day you're going to get old. And that one day your style and your flow is going to get old. Migos, you got a couple more years. After that, you're going to be a legend. And nobody's going to be rhyming like you in the next 15, I say 15 years. I say 10 years. The next 10 years, nobody's going to be rhyming like you. People are going to change up the flow like it's changing right now. And this is what we have to do. We have to respect the old heads just as well as the young heads. Because the old heads need to remember, when they were young and what they went through, so they can understand the youth and respect the youth. And the youth have to understand that one day you're going to get old just like us, and that your flow and everything that you're doing is going to be dated. Your clothes, your style, the way of thought, everything's going to be dated. And then somebody's going to be calling you an old head. That plain and simple. But for the sake of the conversation, now in 2021, yo, I don't like the term old heads, but I'm using it for this conversation so people could relate more. You understand? This is the term that people are using now for older people that are older. Yeah, man, old heads need to like just, I'm not saying hang it up. I'm just saying like you need to pass that baton over to a younger dude. Period. You know, I'm just telling you, and I'm just one person. You know, I don't know. Some of you all may go to the concerts or whatever. I just can't see myself going to a concert where like Big Daddy Kane is older, like he got gray hair and all of that, and you know he used to do the flips and the jumps and the dances and all of that stuff. He can't do that anymore. He can't do that anymore. He can't do the splits like he used to anymore because he's older. I can't go to that concert and see that. I just can't. Because the question would be at hand is, why are you that age still doing that? Why do you have to still perform? Why do you still have to do shows? Shouldn't you be at a state where you're not doing shows anymore? That it should be at a point where you should just be doing it and you probably just giving it to charity because you have other streams of money coming in. I just don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen Rakim, and Rakim looked like he's still stuck in 1993. Like, I don't know why he might have might have went through a vortex and shit, and he's in a multi-dimensional world. Like, you know what I'm saying? So on the other end of the vortex, he's still living in 1992, and he just walked through, and now it's 2021. I just don't know. I don't understand it, but it's not for me to understand. I get it. You understand? Some things I'm not gonna understand. To each his own, but it just looked awkward to me. For a man that's damn near 60, he still dresses the same with the Tim boots and the baggy pants and the baggy jacket and the baggy shirt. I don't know, man. I'm just a sponge, you know what I'm saying? And I try to absorb, you know, what I see and then like kind of like understand it, you know. And maybe some things I may not understand, and maybe it's just the vibe that he's on, and that's where he want to, you know, stay in. But, you know, it's kind of like when I see, you know, older people rhyming and trying to keep up with the young dudes. It's like the old dude in the club that you see, and everybody whispering and saying, "What is he still do? What is he doing here?" But there's nobody like really going up to him and saying anything. My thing is, I would love to ask him, like, yo, what are you still doing here? Shouldn't you be doing something else? Like, and I'm gonna end it with this, right? So with me, like, I've clubbed. I mean, I got stories for days of going to the club. What the fuck I look like? What the fuck I look like? You seeing me in a club in Charlotte? Straight up, like, if you see me in a strip club or you see me in any club, I'm plotting. I'm trying to make some money. I'm talking about the legal way. I got some type of connection or some type of ties in there of where I'm trying to make some money. Other than that, man, I'm not gonna be in nobody's club. I'm just not. I might go to the club and like if I'm vacationing, like I'm in the Caribbeans or I'm in Africa or in a different, like somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I want to get that type of experience. But here in America, let's say for example I go to Myrtle Beach. What the fuck I look like going in the club? Nah, man, that shit is played out, man. I'm too old for that shit. You understand? That's for the young people. So, hey, man, I mean, if I offended anybody, I apologize. It's just my perspective, my thoughts, my take. I truly believe that, you know, this whole rapping is a young man's game. It just is. And, I mean, if you're older and you could put out a classic, I would tell you to do it. But for the most part, to put something out on a consistent basis, you're going to miss your mark. It's somewhere down the line, you're going to sound dated. And I'm telling you, when Hitman Holla battles Cassidy, it's going to be curtains for him. I don't think Cassidy is going to battle anyone after this. I think it's gonna be a disaster. That's just my personal opinion. Because Cassidy, I give it to him. He has that self-esteem, that confidence. But you're gonna need more than that. in order to beat this young man that is swift with his shit. That plain and simple. Like, you lost to Arsenal. That's hands down. So Hitman Holla, I don't know. I'm gonna stay tuned. I'm not paying $100. I ain't paying a pay-per-view or nothing like that. I wait until I'm cheap. You know what I'm saying? I wait until they put up the highlights or whatever have you on YouTube. But I just think Cassie is gonna lose. Other than that, I want you to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely share this video. Peace. And tell me what you think. Peace.